goodness. Sorry about that. This seems all to be in order. Let's see how this goes. Oh, got a cat. Wanna say hi? Please not take apart the furniture. Come hither. Some exclusive input. Don't lick it, please. It's bad enough that you're trying to bite into the microphone. She's just woken up. Yes. So today we go a hunting. Secrets are secrets for a reason, as Simon puts it. Which means I wanted to relog here to see how they are doing. I have not yet had another victim.
Oh, hi. I'm afraid I don't have any more. Yeah, it's all sold out. Sorry, chum. But you know, I'll try and get some more soon.
You do you. Now, did I repair my equipment? Yes, it appears I did. So back into the nightmare we go. First the hunter's dream, then the hunter's nightmare. I do want to make my way through the nightmare today. It is what I'm ultimately after. Yeah, give me a singular bullet. Underground corpse pile. I'm not aiming to get all the items and all the stuff from the DLC. Don't think there's much point. More so I do mainly want to get to the bosses. I don't think I want to leave any boss out necessarily. So, well, it's what an NG plus playthrough probably ends up being most of the time, a little disjointed.
A tragic figure, but he will shame himself no longer. He died with his ideals untarnished. He was a true hero, and earned that much at least.
Bloodborne players, and since 2022, did you say tarnished?
Do you know why the hunters are drawn to this nightmare? Because it sprouted from their very misdeeds.
Ooh.
Things that some would rather keep secret. A pitiful tale of petty arrogance, really. High time someone exposed the whole charade. Now, go on ahead. You seek nightmares and the secrets within, do you not?
Oh, yeah. Full on blood vials. Full on most of the things.
Shrouded mine eyeball with steady stride, coloured by blood but always clear of mind, proud under the church. Beasts are a curse and the curse is a shackle. Only ye, the true blades of the church.
Need to watch out for the old guy in the wheelchair. Rain. Oh, that's not that bad. That's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. Frenzied cold blood.
Are you a hunter? Well, that's very odd. Do you hear the toll of the bell?
Let's lie to him.
Liar. Such pettiness will be your undoing. The beast you seek will not be found here. Go back to your hunt. And if you have the chance, put this night behind you. Places better left untouched. Secrets better left alone. Only a fool would so brazenly roam.
He says after we've already defeated Ludwig, but there's a good chance he might not have made the connection. So cat leaves as I kill the rats. Consistently one of the harder encounters for me. These two. Guess it'll depend on how much damage I'm able to deal, but Amelia. Well, that's not too much. Oof. Need to try to not get hit by Amelia's magic. She's gonna really, really hurt. Panic Mm-hmm. The lamp's gonna get me killed if I'm not careful. Don't shoot. Madman's knowledge? Nothing else. Well, let's get a missile in the face. Don't trust. My HP to survive, or my resistances to survive a clean hit, especially to the head. Ooh. Yeah, that's... It's not a one-shot, but it's damn painful. Well, she's been kind. Her AI hasn't been too fierce today. Yep. But more importantly, these two are dealt with. Can travel upwards. Under the gaze of Willem, Laurence, and an ominous third party. Naturally, you go down again. So you can get the skull. Don't need a church cannon below us, so we'll just send it as it is. And once again head up. And whilst I would like to very much not necessarily speed through all of this in the DLC, but whilst I would very much like to get to the orphan even today and fight it. The one boss I might leave out is Laurence.
Welcome. What is it you... Very well, let me stand close.
Might as well get more damage.
Farewell, good hunter.
Farewell, dear doll. So, into the research hall we go. I do tend to get lost in this place. Don't get poisoned.
Anyone seen my eyes? I am afraid I've dropped them in a puddle. Everything is pale now. As someone I am.
Everything's pale. Yeah, get out of the toxic pool, please. It's just chunks. Don't really need to worry myself with chunks. Let's do chunks, 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 chunky. How are you doing? Well, a lot more resistant than last time. But yeah, they can still just kind of shrek me. Who knows what they're throwing? Still missing. That's a lot of echoes. What? Nope. 4.5k for a singular one. Now, comparing that, this one's gonna hurt. Oh, could be worse. Oh, how did that hit me? Oh, bye. Not sure if type of patient can actually climb ladders, but I guess I'll find out. And that's the bubble room below. Oh yes, yes she can. Oh, come on. And then it all fell apart. And then it all fell apart. Why, hello there. Antidote. What's the deal with your hitboxes, please? Oh, don't I like being staggered? So that's also Quicksilver, yeah. Headless. Which place is this? Dirty Damp. Could you, like, maybe calm down? Which one is this? Is this the shortcut? Yeah, it's one of the shortcuts. Nice! At least that's something. Hi. Did this just... Yeah, did it just work? Whoa. All these Quicksilver bullets. This will be useful later on. I need to be careful. I've fallen out of this elevator before. Don't wanna... Not something I wanna repeat. There is an exit. But... that'll only lead to me losing blood vial, well, runes and all. Unnecessarily blood vials. Could you maybe... What's up with your hitbox? Don't wanna fall! Please, game, please. Why do I have a million poise? It's because you have a... Ew. God damn. That dumb strength. What is that? It's one of those. What? Getting staggered at every opportunity. I'll laugh for a chunk. Hey!
Listen close, and you too will hear the sound of water.
Up we go! She's ready to plip and to plop. I'ma leave these poor heads just, I'll leave them be. As I try not to get crow ambushed too hard. What do you have for me? Fine strike damp. Gonna have to check all these. Oh, now do you? They have no clothes, so they have extra poise. They're extra crazy. I need to get onto that platform. Oh, hi. And the headless one. Also an option. If I drop You know... Yeah. With the shortcut open. The living failures beckon. Oh, hey Simon!
Not a pretty sight, is it?
Ah.
The true face of the blood-worshipping, beast-purging, healing church.
Bobblehead.
But that's not all. You seek the secrets held by the nightmare, do you not? Then here's what you must do. Climb the astral clock tower and kill Maria. She hides the real secret. Go on. Kill Maria atop the astral clock tower. She hides the real secret.
It looks like I'm threatening him.
Welcome. What is it?
Will I be...
Very well. Let me...
Will I be the failure today? 45.
Farewell.
Good hunter. Repair weapon. Now, the last couple of times, the living failures just pummeled me into oblivion. So I'm curious to see how it goes today. How horribly or terribly, or if it might even go well for a change. Now, should I, for some odd reason, be actually able to do decently well against Maria, against the failures, I'm sure Maria's gonna be painful. No, I need to send this elevator back down. And shouldn't this take me directly to... Yeah, it takes me directly to the boss. To you as well.
I have failed. Please, Lady Maria. I have failed. Please, Lady Maria.
Well, if you've failed... Imagine how badly they failed. Smurf booty. Just waiting for the air support. Where are they? Oh, it's not even... are they? Depth perception. Ooh, that. Oh, come on. Ooh. Oh, that bodes ill for Maria. Of course, all things considered, the living failures are more of a long-ish fight compared to being a difficult fight. But they do start hurting real bad at this point. Do I... at this rate, level on 115... my damage is not gonna go up much more.
Welcome. What is it? Very well. Let me.
How much? That's 2. It's still 3 extra damage. Surprisingly large amount for this high. This higher level. Oh, I should have. Do I need to repair my stuff? Yes, I do. In that case, just use whatever, I guess. Need to repair my stuff. And I guess I might as well have check in on my gems to go get physical 18. What was that? So 20, but bolt action, bolt action damage, bolt damage. So yeah, nothing that comes close to these two. That is understandable. Same in this regard. Now, how about the Rakuyo? Probably nothing for the first slot. I got tricked by the blue. Second slot, also unlikely. But how about in this back one? Nope. Also nothing new. Oops. The Lumenwood Garden, Lady Maria. One of the highlight encounters for a lot of people. One of the characters most people tend to like. This thing is always creepy, I feel. A large sunflower. Now, looking from up here, maybe this large lake around the outposts, these singular parts of the city of Yharnam, may serve as a distraction for the player. It's only on that side as well, to make it more real. But of course, we are currently deep under the water. And whilst there is this constant rumbling of distant thunder, to me, the Lumenwood always bobs and weaves a little bit too much to look like it's normal wind. It's just as floaty as the little lumen flowers are. To me, this always looks much more alive and animated. Despite the fact that it's wilting, clearly. But enough of that. Maria, Maria. Blood dripping. Let's go touch the corpse. What could possibly go wrong? Like, are you okay?
A corpse should be left well alone. Oh, I know very well how the secrets beckon so sweetly. Only an honest death will kill you now. Liberate you from your wild curiosity.
Nope. Give me my health back. Oh. She's gonna get bloodied real soon. Oh, that's badly dodged. Ah. Yeah, missed. Or didn't remember to follow up. Dodging backwards is a bad idea. No, it's been a while since I died to Maria. It's mad still. It's probably because I want one first try against the living failures. Usually it's the other way around. Proto Elfrida. Staggered? Stagger locked? Come on. Couldn't see. That's much more like it. At first attempt I should have more focused on trying to parry her, I guess. Celestial Dial. Back to the Hunter's Dream we go. Quickly talk to the doll. You're feeling better now.
Good hunter. This may sound strange, but have I somehow changed? Moments ago, from some place, perhaps deep within, I sensed a liberation from heavy shackles. Not that I would know. How passing strange. Hunters have told me about the church, about the gods and their love. But do the gods love their creations? I am a doll created by you humans. Would you ever think to love me? Of course. I do love you. Isn't that how you've made me? Very well. Let me stand close.
No harm to going to 50, I guess.
Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
Yeah, depends. Heading back into the nightmare. Oh, quick. I need to quickly check in on Cathedral Ward. I should have checked in on them after the failures as well. Well, they seem fine. You only count main game bosses, do you?
Hi. Yeah, it's all sold out. But you...
Because I do think, well, he should have killed more of them at this point. Yeah, they're all... Those are all still alive. Yeah, Astral Clock Tower. Carved with the runes of Carol. I always tend to forget. Do we have that rune as well? Odin, Clawmark, Blood Rapture, sorry. Blood Rapture is an eye. Air is a strange one in my opinion. Now in the lake images you can basically imagine the right part being like a forest at the edge of water with reflections below, and the central and left part is basically to indicate there is something below. Deep sea. Great volumes of water serve as a bulwark guarding sleep and an augur of the eldritch truth, which is a very, very fitting choice. Do the that one doesn't point to anything in particular. How about the other hand of the clock? It's hard to tell. I get like well, there seems to be a rune. Oh, on closer inspection. This one is between what, beast and claw mark? Yeah, beast. And what's the other one? The hand. Ah, beast's embrace. Beast's embrace and beast. Which surely is of some importance. Oh, no, it's where to hold up the dial in here. Does the dial show anything interesting? That's basically the clock face. Still on one of the runes we did not know yet, didn't it? Oh, I just rolled through her chat. Oh, Maria's not gonna need it anymore. I was a bit too quick to really get a better look. The way how they are placed on the outer edges is also difficult to actually look at them. Now that the thing is sunken into floor a little. Boom. Yard and below.
Blasphemous murderers, blood-crazed fiends. Atonement for the wretches by the wrath of Mother Goss. Mercy for the poor wasn't child. Mercy. Oh, please. Atonement for the wretches. Lay the curse of blood upon them and their children and their children's children forevermore. Each wretched birth will plunge each child into a lifetime of misery.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Looked at me like, what did you do? Sorry.
Woman was back in that blasphemous murders, blood-crazed.
Fiends. The fishing hamlet. Much like the Fumeru. They too have their hunt is not welcome sign out. Three hits. Seems workable. Parasite covered corpses. Parasite, or well, barnacle covered fish people. It's probably hard to hear on stream anyway. Even harder to hear than when playing the game yourself. But the background audio in this place is one of the most fascinating places in the whole game, to me. It's incredibly hard to hear amidst the rain, the thunder, just the ambient pressure, I want to call it. All the muttering of the villagers. But I do think sometimes at least some of them might be praying to Udin. Hi. Oh. He delayed that hit much longer than I'd imagined. Oh, please. You're trying to lure me to the giant, I know that. He's just shuffling back and forth. Oh, I'm not looking. Could at least make an attempt at throwing the Molotov. You gotta be kidding me. More blood vials, more blood vials. Oh! Oh no! Looked like he fell through the floor for a second, but I guess you didn't. Come on. It's much too steep. There's no way I can get up that stone. Or that one. Much too dangerous. Great one's wisdom. Kick. So the next part's just gotta be jogging. Fish dog, oh no! Are they anglerfish or are they goblin shark? Woo! That one. Oh no, that's not the way to go. What do you mean? Bye, I'm leaving. So much of the fishing hamlet is actually optional. Considering I'm right above the path to the boss at the moment. Body of mother cause. Do I? I might as well continue. Gonna get invaded. Boing 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 boing. Boing 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 boing. Oing oing oing. Oing oing oing. Oing oing oing. Anytime now. Well, he tried. It's just like the fact that all of this below is just an extra little area. Double hit. Oh, nah. Nah, dude. Gotta be honest, I'm not here for the fishies, I'm here for the bosses. Wanna buy? It's like, how about you don't do that? Blood vials. Considering that frenzy enemies seem to be a natural counter to me, as well as these extremely long, extremely delayed strikes as well. I wonder if I have anything I'm actually good at fighting against. Of course, the biggest issue in these parts is that winter lantern in the back. Could I please pick up the item? I mean, guys, please, do you mind? Oh, please. Finally. That took long enough. Give me your pants. Give me your pantalones. Bullets and a king cold blood, yeah. That's a drop. Oh, this leads only to this little cave. Gives you a little bit of better view on the corpse. But not much though. Just a little better. Now meanwhile, this drop back here. Cursed Kin Hunter, that's probably useless because it's cursed. And, well, it should be a fixed gem, I believe, not a random one. That's Winter Lantern territory. The rest of the Covenants down this path. And somewhere there's a lever. Lever! And this is the point where the actual torture begins. Or not quite just yet, but... if anything's gonna beat me up repeatedly, it's the orphan. Hunter's Dream. So much money, so many blood echoes.
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it you desire? Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand.
Still 3 more damage.
Farewell.
Yeah, these are exactly the same. And I probably could use them against the orphan, but I do prefer to being around based. So I don't get screamed at a lot. File paper's only going to get in the way, aside from, well, it's not going to be useful at all. Do I have bolt paper? That's not much better, but I can use it on my Rakuyo. Rakuyo. More blood. All of them praying to Mother Cause. Maybe praying for forgiveness? One of the best and worst arenas in the whole game, I feel. Let's get hit by a weaponized placenta. Sometimes it's probably the moment I dodged backwards, the AI decided or came to the conclusion that I should use the follow-up. Sometimes he just does the one smash and that's that. It's a very bad start to the gauntlet against the orphan. Anyway, let's go again. Hi, dude. Ooh, got stuck between his legs. Peekaboo. You wanna maybe fight less close to the wall? Hey, give me that kidney. You don't need it. Oof! No idea how to react to the lightning attack anymore. Oh, I got stuck against his knee again. It's the same thing that happened to Pinocchio all the time. Slightly better try. Still not sure what to do about the lightning, but whatever I did, it worked. Too quick. Ooh, that was a bad dodge. Just lucky it worked out. Give me that kidney. Oh. He just kinda dragged me along, didn't he? That's where you dodge to the left. Oh, come. Ah, don't push me to the side. He's gonna transform. It's just like, yeah, let's do it for the lols. That was a whole can of what? Well, the first phase wasn't as bad, aside from the fact how he bamboozled me a couple of times as I tried to go in before he could change phases, but I guess. Hey dude. That's all just continuously do the same move. Yep, I'll take that kidney. And the other one as well. Sometimes you can just walk around him whilst he does that, but not this time. Do you have a third kidney for me, good sir? Fourth kidney? Let's do it again. Like he's trying to glitch out of bounds. Double shock. I do like getting stun locked. He knows I dislike the lightning. Triple lightning. But I got 4 of his kidneys. There's no telling how many remain, but it's something at least. Start with kidney number 1. He knows my tricks. Too many recovery frames. Oh, far away. Kidney number 2 as I get pushed by his arm. Basically no adjustment time. Hey! Ah! Booty. What do you mean that hit me? Could you maybe not do only stuff like that? Oh. Couldn't dodge because of the Staggerstone lock. Well, it doesn't feel harder than the new game, that is for sure. Feels about equal. Which, going by the fact that he's the hardest and highest scaling boss in the game, that's perfectly fair. Being nice to you, dude. Don't. No reason to. Could you not? I mean, I would like to actually fight you, not just be stuck in a healing loop. Bad dodge, but somehow I managed to miss. Basically all of the attack. What? Them jukes! Getting juggled. Want to start again? This is a bad try. I'm very pushy. And jumpy. Pushy and jumpy. Ah. Should have just walked and not dodged. Should be a fairly decent start into phase 2. If he doesn't do stuff like that. Wasn't a good try all in all. So, eh. Wee! Whoa! 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 Bad. Wrong side to dodge towards. Probably needed to run. Up. Up. Okay. He's zoning me. He's zoning me. No idea what happened in that. Ah. Game's like, abort, abort! Oof. Agreed. And all out. Hey! Whew. Not nearly as nerve-wracking as the new game one. Even if it was just similarly as close. A nice couple of Chicago moments in the end. The worst part, in a way, and I'm before I continue, I'm going on this tangent. The worst part about playing Bloodborne again is that I know that I was fairly decent with the Chicago in my very first couple of playthroughs on the PS4, not on the PS5. And a lot of that is, I guess, because of the Chalice dungeons, which feels horrible to admit. But one of the best features of the Chicago is the backstab or the dodge attacks, and it's probably not as clear in this fight, but you can, well, maybe not abuse it, but make good use of it against the orphan. I had a couple of good hits over the course of this attempt as well, because if you have an enemy, the Chicago can cover quite a lot of ground with this, with the follow-up to the dodge. You move a little bit forward if you do it without an enemy, compared to the backstab you do. Maybe a step farther forward. But if you actually have an enemy, the character does, or the character covers a lot more ground than just that. Mother cause. Whilst in theory it is unclear how much of Cause's design would be quote-unquote real, considering this is a dream in the game, but the way the Great Ones work, it's probably likely that she looked like this, and well, what should be or what can be considered actuality. The human facial features is an interesting aspect, as it might hint on her being either an ascended one, or maybe even that she is partially connected to humanity. She could be a missing link in regards to general evolutionary theory that life leaves the ocean, comes on land. But whatever the case, let us put her to rest.
sweet child of Kos returned to the ocean. A bottomless curse, a bottomless sea, accepting of all that there is and can be.
Good hunter. I can hear German sleeping. On any other night, he'd be restless. But on this night, he sounds so very calm. Perhaps something has eased his suffering. Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me
As long as I get such large amounts of extra damage, I might as well level up some more damage. Fill up on blood vials. So send them to the ward. So I take a quick break. So, of course, there's one more potential beast to hunt left. Everyone's still alive in the Cathedral Ward. Gorman is sleeping soundly. The coast. Too bad. Just was having a quick check on Laurence. They usually don't have patience for him to do it alone, and therefore I mean, I do tend to get Walter involved with the Laurence fight, which I might well do today as well. Bong goes the giant. Can you not? Walter should be following me up the stairs, despite the giant. Walter, master of the league, Mr. Buckethead Helmet himself. So he can't follow just yet. But we have Laurence's skull, so we can deal with him as well. What is... he has a splitting headache. Come on in, Walter. Can we not do it like this, please, game? Oh! That was a grab. It deals so much damage. So much damage. Thanks, game. Ye old 1-2. Oh. What's your problem, game? Come on, Walter. We have a vicar to kill. There's not much left of him. Don't die on me, Walter. Oh. Why did that do so much damage? It was more than half my health. 2/3 maybe? That's a lot. That's a lot. I guess it started off badly the moment he just shot me point blank in the face. Oh, could you not? Could you not block the door, please? Always another attack. Alta, please heal. Oh. Just try to get out of range and not then watch out for the actual attack cycles. Ugh. I don't know what it is, but for all the love I have for Ludwig and the Orphan, even if I struggle with either of them, usually, when I play the game, and for all the love I have for the cleric beast design, I hate Laurence. There's just something about him that doesn't click with me. And I guess his second phase makes it all the worse when you can't even hit him half the time. Not to mention the fact that he still deals loads of damage by just flopping and flailing around. Thanks, Walter. What? It's like, what happened there? And there he goes. one thing I'm thinking right now is that I should not have started Laurence and just moved on. Yeah. Ah, I hate the fight. Really, I don't really don't know what's the deal with him. I just can't. Let's get my invite to Castle Cainhurst. Let's get that instead. Well, at least everything else in the nightmare is done. At least everything I care about right now.
Oh, hello. You made it. Find any survivors? Or only beasts? Tell anyone who's human about Yusefka's clinic.
That'll...
I will take proper care of them.
Hmm.
They're in your hands. And soon, mine.
It's a little late for that, Yusefka. Anyway, got an invitation to pick up. Let's not get brain sucked. If at all possible. Any Ooh, Shaman Bone Blade. The nice little find, but well, main use is probably either in chalices or in the fishing hamlet. I don't really need to deal with the double giant fight. Way. Hey, Yusefka. Like, have a nice evening. Don't quite recall what's in this chest. So let's find out. A madman's knowledge. Well, that's kind of fitting. I wonder what she's actually trying to achieve here, aside from the fact that she's making more bubbleheads, which I guess. We know she has one of the cords of the eye, and that she ingested it. One of the thirds of cords of the eye, so. Maybe she just hoped that it would enhance her capabilities? Or did she try to make celestial messengers to be able to make contact on her own? Be a more involved plan. But that doesn't quite explain why they why they were allowed to wander out. Out and about. As just from a logic standpoint, I need to go to Hemwick. Just from a logic standpoint alone, it makes the most sense that the messengers you can fight in the Forbidden Woods, that those are from whatchamacallit. Yuck. Like, are you going to do anything or just guarding? That those are escapees from Yosefka's, I'm trying to say. Or where I'm trying to get at. That just makes the most sense. Tempering. Blood gem 1. You guys do your job. I'll head to the stagecoach in the meantime. Then again, executioners don't want to get executed. Executioned. Leave the horsies alone. I just triggered a couple of dogs. In any case, we made it. Now off to beautifully cold Castle Cainhurst. Cold Castle Cainhurst. CCC. Yes, they've been expecting me. No reason to go back to the dream. The castle isn't actually that large. What could possibly go wrong? If I just head for the... Just heading for the exit, people. And then the lights dim. Flap, 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 flap. Oh, he's about as graceful as is my Dragon Lord Ulak. Just about as graceful. Oh! Let go of me. Hmm. I'll take it. I do just want to get to Logarius. Of course, the worst part's ahead of me. That was a leisurely stroll. Whole lot of misses. So let's go. Flap, 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 flap. That should be the Night Set and the Evelyn. And this should be the way to Logarius. That's a Kin Cold Blood, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that's the... This is the lever. Pull the lever! So am I going to first try Logarius? Probably not. It's not entirely unheard of. At this rate. Now I'm not really in the mood for the woodlands. I'm gonna be a prissy little bitch. And I'll keep the rest of the main game for next time, which, all things considered, might actually be doable in those 4 hours. There's still amygdala. But the question is, do I want to deal with the Nightmare Frontier at all? Or do I want to just leave it? Guess Eva is fine. Well, let's have a look at how Logarius is feeling today. If he's in a agreeable mood, or if he is opposed. So creepy how he gets up and composes himself afterwards. What damage am I dealing? He really likes doing the quick skull. Fair enough. Should have. It's like I wasn't sure if there's an explosion coming or not. Oh, come on. Come on. So he's not agreeable. Is what I'm taking away from this. He's not agreeable. Thought I heard a cat sound, but might just been my imagination. That's why I get for not sending the elevator down. The thought that just crossed my mind. Considering how well established and well researched the lore of Bloodborne generally is, it doesn't seem like there's too much thought given to the fact how Logarius is sitting on top of the roof as a frozen zombie. And then he just gets up the moment we approach. course, he sits and in front of the queenly bedchamber and guards the last surviving member of the House of Cainhurst, the undying Queen Annalise. But or maybe that's the martyr part of his role, is that he drank from the forbidden blood to be able to hold this everlasting watch. Come on, dude. Don't be like that. I just arrived. I dislike you standing next to the edge of the roof, please. Still not far enough away. Wow. Oh, please. Wow. That Logarius of all people is giving me that much problems. I don't like it. But I do feel, well, I have to admit I do feel half asleep during this fight. Couldn't even really tell you why. It's just... Why did you have to hit me in the head? One. 3. It's like 4 or 5 hits to stagger you to fall off. Which he sometimes manages. Rarely, I feel, but sometimes. Nah. All the snow also makes me yearn for colder climate. It's been a bit weird since yesterday. In theory, well, I've been complaining about the heat for what? Almost 2 weeks now. It's seemingly only getting warmer. Yesterday we had 38 degrees Celsius. So yeah, that's a lot. And yesterday evening, finally, a thunderstorm. But it feels colder. But the thermometer is still on. Could you maybe do something else? Stop it. He powered up, but at least no explosion. Look how easy that was. It's downright infuriating. Compared to So yeah, anyway, it's even warmer today than yesterday. At least inside the house, which is don't know.
Welcome. What is... Very well, let me...
Should be able, yeah, 50. Now skill shouldn't give me much more opportunity to grow damage. I don't think, at least. Almost back up to 60 insight. Been spending a lot of blood vials. A lot more than I'd like to. Cathedral Ward now. But now somebody should be dead. Yup. Oh no, what happened?
Oh, kind hunter. How did this happen? A beast? Here? Why? It's my fault. Savaged and eaten everyone, and it's all my fault. Gods, please. I'm sorry. So sorry.
Now why would you think it's your fault?
I only wanted to help. Just once in my life. They told me it would never work. My mum always told me. Everybody kept telling me. I should have known. I should have. Gods.
Oh, hello. Sorry, dear. I'm only so much.
Sedatives.
Oh, you again. Perfect timing. I've got some more. See? Oh. Oh my. You just can't get enough.
Oh.
Oh no, I understand. I'm the very same. Oh, hello again. I really do owe you a terrible lot. Finding me such a nice place to live. This is a smashing place. It's everything Yarnum ever had and more.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
It's everything.
He even has an amygdala, if you can see it. Don't know, as an abhorrent beast. I would assume the main difference between the various types of beasts is how much insight the individual has, whilst the lower your insight, the more beastly you actually become. So I would even assume that the normal werewolf type monster is the one who has the least insight. The cleric beasts probably distort so much because they have a much larger amount of blood transfusion or just blood administration had applied to them, which surely stocked up the beast transformation potential quite a bit. But then there's also the more humanoid beasts, like the beast patients, the silver beasts, although those may also take the same, they may take the same boxes as the werewolves. Then again, the silver beasts do still use tools, they use torches. So there's still some form of non-bestial intelligence left. But the one creature that stands out by quite a lot, I feel, is the abhorrent beast. It may be in part due to its humanoid facial features, but the beggar is probably the best example of an abhorrent beast retaining its humanity, which no real explanation as to why. If it's a different strain, quote unquote, from the beast plague, or if it's a I'm gonna leave her here again. Or if it would make sense if it's something to do with humanity, but of course, or not with insight. But of course, it's probably the issue that the cleric beasts seem less human than a lot of the other creatures, as well as the even going by in-game terms between Vicar Amelia and Laurence. It's difficult to say. But anyways, I'm not sure if Ludwig should be included in that as well, because Ludwig, he had his guiding moonlight. He admits that he never wanted to know what it is, and from that standpoint, I don't think he was the most insightful into the matter. In general, Ludwig's main contribution to the cause was the formation of the militias in Yharnam, as to arming the populace to fight against the beasts, and not to basically move the hunters from the shadows out into the open, and not have all this covert business conducted all around the city and rumors spreading, but instead at least put into the open the general concept that there are beasts in Yharnam and that they need to be dealt with, and the easiest way is to arm the populace, which surely both made dealing with beasts easier for a little while, and ultimately made everything much worse, as more blood ministration was given out to those who fought against the werewolves, which in turn turned into more werewolves, which in turn needed more hunters and needed more blood ministration, and therefore created more werewolves again. It's probably this cycle that ultimately leads to the moon presence's interest in what happens, as you can argue that the humans fighting against the beasts, or the humans turn beast, show their own beastly nature, and that's just what the moon presence is amplifying. And therefore it is what ultimately leads to the downfall of an area. There's no real telling what happened if the same thing happened to Lost Lauren. It mirrors Old Yharnam, or in a sense Old Yharnam mirrors Lauren, as Lauren was probably early on the timeline. The Ashen Blood Plague being a major component of that. there's a lot to speculate about in these areas still, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who made videos and all kinds of basic essay or wrote essays on the matter, or articles, blog posts and whatnot, what all these different things mean, or what they are, or supposedly mean, or supposedly are. But I do enjoy just speculating on my own. It's like, sorry about that. Just how it is. But, well, all things considered, leaving out the fact that I have no patience for Laurence, and not in the slightest am tempted to go back and actually do them. It's more about feeling bad about myself, that I'm going to be abandoning poor Walter. I did everything I wanted to do in about half the time I had for today. And the smartest thing is now just calling it. Because I said it before, I'm not really in the mood for the Forbidden Woods, which just how it is at times. But I do wanna I'll keep that for next time around, and I might be looking at being able to complete the game next time, as it's not that much left to do, is there? Especially considering how I breezed through most of the DLC today. Now, of course, if you explore the DLC to its fullest, then there's a lot more to still find. There's a lot more hidden secrets, interesting weapons. I picked up maybe one or so of the 10-ish weapons the DLC has to offer. But it's New Game Plus, so a lot of this is basically resolves itself by running just to the boss and dealing with the actual boss enemy. Living failures, surprising first try, which of course meant that I had to die against Lady Maria, thankfully only once. And then the Orphan. And despite a couple of bad tries against the Orphan, yeah. Now it's still not anything to write home about. Well, I'm happy. Managed to kill it. Going by how long it took me in New Game, I should have been a lot quicker this time around. And I do have to say, my experiences with the DLC today, they do make me want to go into New Game Plus. Just to get the bosses done. Feels like these games could profit, or they could benefit from a feature like a boss rush mode in a lot of ways. I guess Sekiro's DLC update was meant to test how well that would stick with the community. And I do hope it did well enough to be considered at least for other games in the lineup. Of course, we'll see what happens with the Elden Ring DLC once that comes out. But anyways, yeah. And well, after abandoning Laurence after a couple of tries, it's not that bad, honestly. I just really don't like him. Just don't like the encounter. After all that, well, and then I drew a blank. Yeah, just quickly skipping through Castle Cainhurst to get to Logarius. Taking 3 attempts. Is bad enough. Logarius is strange, considering how early in playthroughs I did him before, and how I legit killed him in one try, where the skull explosion, the one he sends out and triggers on a second attack motion. I killed him in a try where that could one-shot me, so feels incredibly silly to die against him at this point. But well, it is what it is. It was what happened. The kill try for Logarius, I failed to mention that, is also another good showcase for the dodge attacks for the Chikage, as they cover quite a lot of ground. They don't always reach him, but they are fairly effective at closing the gap. So, but yeah, that's about all from me. And now, Gord. Tomorrow's gonna be my day off. Already have plans. On Tuesday, it's back to Anno. Still need to become besties with Bentikin and Alonso. Which I don't think I'm actually that far off of. It doesn't feel that difficult. So I do hope to be making some general progress on that front. Meanwhile, still not sure about Wednesday. What I want to do about Wednesday. I'm gonna have Friday is gonna. I'm not gonna be around on Friday. Me mum's having her birthday, so yeah. And then in between it's back to necromancy in Age of Wonders. 'Tis what's going to happen. I'm also looking into something else I might want to pick up for the time between. So yeah, it's definitely on the shorter side today, but hey Millennium, how are you doing? Well, I'm trying to get an average of 4 hours, but per session. But for today, I'm basically done. It's much too warm, and I guess I blitzed through all I wanted to. Blitz through what I wanted to do in the DLC. Well, they're some of my favorite games in general, so I'm quite used to it. I need to make a character in Elden Ring for the upcoming DLCs. Yeah, they can be quite taxing in that regard. But I do enjoy them, and I at least in certain phases, at certain times I can really fiend those games. Just thinking about when Elden Ring came out last year. I think well, it took me a week of something between 10 and 12 hours a day to get through my first playthrough in Elden Ring. I get so invested. But yeah, if you use them for resting, then it's not always ideal. Counterintuitive. Oh well. Not really in the mood for the woods, as mentioned before, so I'll call it at this point for reals now. It's still much too warm, so good enough reason to call it. So thanks for checking by. I'll be back online Tuesday and then maybe a couple more times next week. So have a nice rest of your weekend. And I do hope to see you next time. Bye byes.